Hello everyone, Flash Notion here, and we are starting a new series. It's been a little while since I did this. Actually, it's been a while, at least like a couple months at least. So yeah, we've been watching My Hero, we've been watching Star Versus, and now we're going to be starting a third series to watch on the regular for a while, and it's One Punch Man. Yeah. Okay. We'll do the rundown first of what all I know. Okay, so I know this is a superhero anime, similar to My Hero. In fact, I think there's been, like, theories of, like, do these take place in the same world somehow, or something like that. Usual fan theory bullshit. But I know that the main character, named Saitama, is, the One Punch Man. He can literally beat anybody with one punch, and because of that, he's just fucking bored as hell with everything. So he just kind of goes about superhero business with this apathy that is... I'm not sure if it's entirely played for comedy, if there's some drama to it, but, I mean, there probably is. And that's just, like, the big selling point of the show, is just, here's this character that's so stupidly OP, and he... that he just doesn't care anymore. And I think that's all I know plot-wise. I know there's some pretty big, apparently epic fights that have, like, a lot of collateral damage to them. But I think those are probably later on. The only other thing I know isn't like related to the actual show itself. It's related to the meta of it. It's that apparently season 2 has shitty animation, according to people on the internet. I've heard similar stuff before. I don't know how bad this might be, but it would have to be pretty bad for me personally to notice it. Or rather, not just for me to notice it, but for me to care. Because, I've heard that, seasons 4 and 5 of My Hero had, worse animation, and so far I haven't really even noticed it. Been watching Seven Deadly Sins on my own time, and I heard later seasons of that had, worse animation, but there are only, a couple times I notice it, and I usually don't care. The thing that really gets you in that show is, the white blood, for some stupid fucking reason. If it was black, it would be understandable, but, why white? I don't get it. Just makes it look wrong. And, I've watched Dragon Ball Z stuff that animation is all hand-drawn and looks weird at times. Frequently the characters are not necessarily off-model, but distorted. And then, Steven Universe would, especially in the early seasons, go off-model a lot. And just everybody that worked on that show kind of had, their own interpretation of how the character is supposed to look. To the point where people were joking about Peridot's hair just, consuming the screen eventually because it kept getting bigger. And I always thought that was hilarious. But then there's also my first anime was Kill la Kill, so that kind of that had purposefully low quality animation in that their budget was low and they made the best of a bad situation with it. But that kind of set my expectations for what anime should look like in terms of the quality of animation. I didn't realize until much later on how well they used it. But in terms of what it should look like and all that, that's kind of my standard. So if this show is going to... If I'm going to complain about the animation of the show, it's going to have to be real fucking shitty. But I've also said that in the past that I don't necessarily care how shitty animation is as long as the story's good. I got that from watching Transformers Armada back in the day, which really wasn't that long ago that I actually watched it in full, but like I grew up in that era of Transformers. So like that's my animation standard. The CGI animation standard is like, is this better than Energon? And the answer is almost usually always yes. Yes, it is, because God, Energon and even Cybertron, the CGI looked like shit. Well, actually, I guess my standard is Beast Wars for that, for making it look halfway decent, at least. And then Prime is the standard for, does it look really good? And then Star Wars The Clone Wars, that's the standard for, like, does it look really good? And, yeah. God, Season 7 of Clone Wars was beautiful. But, regardless, totally different shows. I got sidetracked there a little bit. We have this show now to watch. I am going to be doing 2 episodes of it, as I usually do for half-hour stuff these days, because why the fuck not? Yeah, I'm not going to bother with titles. I just want to see this. And yes, I'm watching the dub. I will not tolerate any comments asking me about that. If somebody leaves a comment saying you should watch the sub, I'm just going to fucking block you, because I'm not going to watch subs. I am trying to react to this show in real time. I cannot waste time reading. It's like, no. I never understand people who want or who want reactors to watch subs. It's just not the way to do it. Unless they speak fluent Japanese, they should be watching the dub. Anyway, let's get watching episodes 1 and 2 of One Punch Man. Shall begin in 3, 2, 1. Almost forgot again. I almost forgot again. I've been doing this so often lately. Lately, I just started doing this format, so of course I'm forgetting. Anyways, so that's the start of One Punch Man. And, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm as invested in this series as I am in, like, My Hero. My Hero got, like, emotional really fucking quickly, and I got super hardcore invested in it really fast because of that. But, like, I can see why people like it. Aside from, like, some uncomfortably, like gory bits, or, like, the mosquitoes where I'm just like, nope, fuck that shit. Like, aside from stuff like that, it looks good. I love the contrast between just the super serious animation that it has most of the time. That it looks like a more old school anime. It looks like something where, well, I say old school. It looks like more what I used to expect an anime to look like Dragon Ball or Sailor Moon or something like that. Just the older aesthetic to it, just a little bit. These days a lot of anime is more rounded, and it has the look of, like, I don't want to say more cartoony, but, like, I mean, maybe it's just the shows that I watch, but I have not seen this sort of hard line, hard edge style in a while. And so I do like that. So if the season 2 change up is that it becomes more like other modern anime and gets more rounded in its appearance, I can kind of understand why people would consider that a step down. Especially because, as I was trying to get at, I love the contrast between this art style that it has, this super gritty art style, and then just like how ridiculous the world is. Just like people's voices don't necessarily match their appearance, as we saw with that one girl in the beginning. We have all these like superpowered characters just causing untold amounts of chaos and destruction. Cities are so like numerous, or like I don't know what the actual backstory is, but it seems like all the cities are identified by like either well, right now we've only seen ones identified by letters. So there's definitely a city. There's cities A through Z. So like something happened where that just became the system, and that's like, okay, I guess. Are there only 26 cities? Is it only letters? Is there number cities? Is there like cities with more than one letter? Do we go to city AA at some point? I don't know. Is it just because the cities are so all encompassing that they basically just divide them up into districts of like, okay, there's 26 different districts, we'll give them letter designations and not bother with naming the cities? I don't know what's going on. There are a lot of ways they could play it, and all of them are kind of painting a picture of a terrible world to live in. But you know what? Whatever. And yeah, just the main character's absolutely depressed attitude of just like, I can't give a shit anymore. I literally am incapable of giving a shit anymore. I don't feel that fire in me. Yeah, kind of a good thing when I started the show when I did. I mean, the only reason why I'm doing this show right now is because I've gone to weekly reactions, and the only reason I've done that is because I'm trying so hard to keep myself from falling back into a depressive funk. I'm trying to keep myself onto a schedule so that way I actually accomplish the things that I want to accomplish and don't just fall into the cycle of, well, I haven't accomplished anything, so I feel bad, so now I don't accomplish anything. This guy doesn't have that, obviously. He doesn't have, like, the depression of, like, there's something mentally wrong with him, so far as we know. What is on my tongue? Ugh. I don't know what that was. I don't know where it went. Anyway, yeah, he's definitely got some situationally acquired depression, and it's pretty fucking terrible to have that sort of feeling, let me tell you that much. I don't know why you guys would require me to tell you that, because, like, depression is sadly common these days. Just so many people are fucking depressed, and they have every right to be, but, like, it would be nice if enough people would have motivation to not be depressed that we could change things, maybe at some point. I don't know. But yeah, so in 3 years, he trained himself to be the literal peak of, strength, and just yeah. I don't. Obviously, I don't think. I've seen videos before of like, well, Saitama's workout actually work, and I don't think it's going to be like you're capable of fucking breaking a city in half with a slap of a mosquito, like he did, here. I mean, you could see the clouds were parted. I said earlier, Saitama versus Goku. I said that in the reaction, but, like, I genuinely kind of want to see Saitama versus, like, All Might or Deku. because, like, that's a similar level of power. The difference is that it doesn't seem like Saitama knows how to hold back. It seems like he's always firing at 100% when he fights. In his everyday life, it seems like, he's able to pick things up and not break them. But it doesn't seem like he knows how to apply that to fights. And thus, just one punch, boom. So whereas, like, with One for All, Deku knows how to control it, how to control the percentage of it. And, I mean, the level of strength that is on display with Saitama is pretty on par with what we see of All Might starting out. Tornado, creating windstorms, tornadoes, changing the weather. And Saitama's, what did he say? Consecutive normal punches is pretty much identical in appearance to the punch that Midoriya used to defeat Overhaul. So that was pretty cool, actually. It's like, it is one punch, but it looks like 1,000 of them, and boom, dead. But just the boredom that comes with knowing that you can beat anyone and there's no real challenge to it anymore, but this is the only thing that gives your life meaning. It's like, what's he supposed to do? I don't know. And then we have Genos, the cyborg guy. And like he has a cool design, cool abilities. God, he never knows when to shut the fuck up. Another drink. So that's like his big thing for me. I know Death Battle did him versus War Machine at some point, which, I can see that. I was thinking, like, he looked very Iron Man-esque in the fight against the Mosquito Queen there. Before we actually learned his name, and I was like, oh, I actually do know who this guy is, in that regard, or at least I've heard of him. So, like, even before that, I was thinking, the way he's moving, the way he looks, his repulsor blast thing, fight, I guess it's more of a flamethrower, but it all looks very Iron Man. So that was something I was thinking about going into it, and it was all pretty cool. I don't think he has a chance of becoming as strong as Saitama. The training that Saitama underwent is obviously more of a grow your muscles type, whereas Genos is a machine, basically, like human brain, but he's a machine. So if he's going to get stronger, he needs literally stronger materials and stronger parts. Unless they're going to do like Cyborg in that one old Teen Titans episode, DC Cyborg, I should say. In the one episode of the original Teen Titans show that it's like one of the few episodes that actually stuck around in my mind is Cyborg's fighting Brother Blood, and Brother Blood just like destroys his limbs, and Cyborg's just like, no, fuck you, and regrows his limbs out of nowhere. It's like he's suddenly made out of nanotech, and then he just like punches him in the face, and it's just like, yep, no, I'm stronger than you because fuck you. That's basically what it was. There was no rhyme or reason to it other than just like, hero character has heroic willpower and is able to beat the bad guy because of it. It's like, it made no sense in universe, to my knowledge, but like, it was cool as fuck. So if they go that route of it, where it's just like, oh yeah, he's a machine, but actual training somehow makes him stronger, like, I don't I don't know how that would work, but I'd be like okay with it because it would be cool. It's one of those things where it's just like, ignore the logic, ignore the logic and just accept it, because the logic doesn't matter. But the Mosquito Girl had a really fucking cool design. But, well, she had two really cool designs. Her original design was cool enough, but then, like, she got the blood powered up design, and that was actually, fucking epic. And also, as I said, she got thick. She had like actual, legs and arms that weren't just like skinny insect twig limbs, that sort of thing. Anyways, okay, yeah. Point is that I'm expecting there to be a lot of fan art of Mosquito Girl, even though she's like a one-off character. So there is that. Outside of that, I mean, oh my goodness, what is big old cement mixer? Okay. Outside of that, we got this thing with House of Evolution. Gonna be a bad guy organization that we have to fight against for a little while, I guess. I mean, fight is in air quotes with that, I guess, because, just not much of a fight, so much as it is, okay, at what point does Saitama decide I'm through entertaining these people, I'm just gonna destroy them? Yeah. One thing that was in the first episode that hasn't yet been expanded on is the idea of that there are other hero-type people in this world that we haven't really seen much of yet, and none of them seem to be effective against the enemies here. So, yeah. Just a very weird and interesting world that we're seeing here. So, I don't know. I don't know how it's really gonna go from here on out. I mean, the fights are already so large in scale that it's hard to picture them escalating. Because we're already at the point where these fights can destroy most of a city. The fucking Colossus guy that he just punched into the ground, that guy, he blew up several city blocks at least. In his punching Saitama into the ground that hard, god damn, that level of destruction is insane. And then when he collapsed onto the city, that caused even more destruction. So it's just how do you escalate from that? The only we're already at the level where we destroy cities. The next escalation beyond city destroying is landmass destruction. Destruction of an entire continent. And after that, it doesn't get bigger until you go to planetary. So I don't know how they do that with this character who got his level of strength and power entirely through training, it seems like. I mean, he might be a subtle metahuman in that he might have just the ability to gain muscle mass and be stronger and more durable and whatnot purely through training, just because he's better at it than normal people because of the metagene, but it's not a very noticeable power. It doesn't result in any physical deformities other than maybe the loss of his hair. Oh my god, he's a reverse fucking Samson from the Bible. The guy who couldn't cut his hair, he had to have long hair, otherwise he wouldn't be strong. And now here, Saitama, he gets strong and he loses his fucking hair. That's probably a coincidence. I doubt that was the intention of the writers, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, point being though that he could be a subtle metahuman and just not realize that training isn't the only reason why he's as strong as he is, or rather that his training was more effective than it should have been. I don't know. It's not really that important, all things considered. I just would like, a concrete answer of that before we get to the part where his punches can literally blow up planets. Yeah. Anyways, it was entertaining. It was fun. I, definitely look forward to continuing the series. And, yeah, it's gonna be a thing. Yeah. Anyways, see you next time. Bye!